In this video, we're going to talk about post-surgery nutrition. There is incredible confusion and misinformation on this subject. And more than ever, it's going to be really important for you to think more than you're listening to me. Think if what I'm saying makes sense. When you Google, you have to ask yourself if what you're reading makes sense. Because I did a quick search on Google of post-surgery nutrition, and most of it was copy pasta, and it was garbage copy pasta. Before we get started, I just have to give you this example because it's so incredibly funny. A lot of the websites say you have to get more protein after surgery because it helps you recover. It's like, more protein than what? How the hell do you know how much protein I was having before to tell me I need to have more now? You don't. It makes no sense. Before we talk about what you expect I'm going to talk about, which is protein requirements, calorie requirements, vitamin requirements, those things, let's talk about how you use nutrition to undo the damage that happened during surgery. What do I mean by that? Okay, you just had surgery. You were under general, completely knocked out. There's all kinds of noxious chemicals in your system that you need to flush out of your liver and kidneys. And to do that, you need hydration. You need to drink water. Flush that shit out. So that's the first thing we need to undo. Second of all, I can guarantee you, they always do this. They're always afraid of infection, so they pump you full of antibiotics. Antibiotics are not selective. They kill all the bacteria in your body, good and bad. And it's good bacteria in your intestines that keep you healthy, that biome. And it was just nuked by a nuclear blast during surgery. So you have to nurse your intestines back to health by giving them the good bacteria they need. So fermented vegetables, kimchi, pickles, sauerkraut, or things like yogurt. Please do not take stupid probiotic supplements. Just eat real food. Okay, so that's the second damage, the damage to the good bacteria in your system. The third damage is all the prescription meds you're on after surgery, typically for pain. And if those are opioid, those cause constipation. And you don't want to have to take another drug to counteract the side effects of a drug. So you counteract that with real food. Eating lots of fiber. That will counteract the constipation effect of the opioids. So that's the first step in undoing the damage of the surgery. Now let's talk about what you thought I was going to talk about, which is nutrition, calories, protein, macros, micros, those kind of things. I did a Facebook post about this, and the responses made me realize how little people know about even basic nutrition. They muddle all these different issues together and get really confused. So let's talk about the issues that people are muddling up here. First of all is the surgery damage itself. What kind of nutrition things you need to take into account to help yourself heal. The second thing people get all muddled up is the fact that, okay, after surgery, you're not going to be able to work out. How do you prevent muscle loss when you're not working out? It's the same answer whether you've had surgery or not, but it's completely separate from the surgery aspects itself. And the last thing people get muddled up is your particular goal at the time, meaning, are you cutting or bulking? There's nothing that says that you can't be optimally nourished and still have a caloric deficit. You do not need a caloric surplus to recover from surgery, just like you don't need a caloric surplus to gain muscle. Okay, so those are all the issues that people are muddling together. Let's look at those one at a time. So let's take the easy one first. If you stop working out, you're gonna lose muscle. Yep, true. But first of all, you're not gonna lose as much as you think. And second of all, there's easy things you can do to prevent the loss. The wrong way to do this is to eat more. People think that eating more will keep them from losing muscle. No, it keeps your weight the same. You're still losing muscle, you're just getting fatter. So you're doing a recomp in the wrong direction. You're losing muscle and gaining fat. Eating more calories is not going to help you. So what you can do is do what you can. For example, I can't do any upper body stuff, obviously, because I can't move my shoulder, but I can do legs. Doing any sort of bodybuilding helps prevent muscle loss in the whole body. So do what you can, but you don't have to have a caloric surplus. You can have a caloric deficit. Since I started to talk about this anyway, let's cover this. Cutting or bulking. I mentioned my goal is cutting. There is no reason I cannot give my body the nutrients it needs to recover from the surgery and prevent muscle loss and still cut. It just means you have to be a lot more careful how you allocate your calories. There's going to be no Twinkies and Ho-Hos and donuts. It's going to be a lot of protein and a lot of fiber to fill me up and a lot of clean eating. That's what it's going to require to be able to cut, give my body nourishments to heal this surgery, and to minimize the muscle loss. And we're going to talk about the actual protein requirements in a moment here. But now let's talk about the last and probably the most important thing, which is what do you need nutrition-wise to optimally recover from a surgery? Obviously, if you just have Twinkies and donuts for a month after surgery, you're not going to heal very well. Why? You're not getting protein, you're not getting vitamins, you're not getting minerals, you're not getting omega-3 fatty acids, you're not getting anything you need. And maybe people eat like that after surgery, but they probably eat like that before surgery too, and they're going to be just as unhealthy afterward as they were before. I know you're not like that, you're watching this video. So, what kind of nutrition? Honestly, I eat really clean. I do eat tons of non-starchy vegetables. I eat lots of legumes. I eat hardly any processed carbs at all. So my nutrition really isn't going to be any different with a few exceptions. And let me cover that. If you've been following me for the last 3 decades, you know I am against all supplements and all vitamins. I do not believe in multivitamins, nothing. And the reason is people use those as crutches. I had a multivitamin. I don't need my vegetables today. No. Having said that, this is the one time I will take one supplement and a multivitamin. It's post-surgery. I just want to make 1,000% certain I'm getting enough of everything. So I'm taking a multivitamin, and I'm also taking the glucosamine chondroitin supplement because there's some hints that might help with the tendons and the reattachment. it's really shaky research, but it's not going to hurt. So I'm going to take it for 30 to 60 days. So that is a big difference for me. So my normal clean nutrition plus a multivitamin and the glucosamine chondroitin. Most people don't have as clean a nutrition as I do. So after surgery, you're going to have to clean it up for a couple months if you want optimal recovery. And if you're a vegan or vegetarian, I would strongly suggest that just for that month or two that you eat some meat, some beef specifically. It doesn't have to be a lot, but maybe every other day. It's just, there's things in the beef and the chicken and the fish that you're not going to get from vegan sources when you're recovering. And I think it's worth setting that aside for a few months, as good as it is for overall health in general, if you implement it well. Now let's talk about protein. You've been waiting for this. So, how much protein do you need? As I mentioned, you Google it on the internet and all these websites say, you need more protein after surgery so to help you recover. It's like, this is what I was talking about, where you have to engage your brain. It's like, why exactly do you need more protein? Protein helps you rebuild muscles when you've torn them down. The surgeon didn't touch any muscles. He was playing with where my ligaments were attached and cleaning out the joint. He didn't touch any muscles. I have no muscles to rebuild. So why is it exactly that I need more protein? I don't. First of all, as I mentioned, that advice is stupid because people don't know how much protein you were eating before to know if you need more. Let me give you my specific situation. Again, people were confused about this on my post. So, pre-surgery, I was getting 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. And the reason I get so much protein, that's over even what is recommended for bodybuilders. But the reason is because I do such an extreme amount of cardio. And doing cardio is pretty brutal on your body, just as bodybuilding is. So that's why my protein requirement, my protein intake was so high before surgery. I'm not doing the cardio now. I'm not lifting weights. So for me, I need less protein. I have lowered it to like 0.8 through to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight a day. That's still pretty high. And if you look at some of the websites, the numbers they're throwing around for post-surgery are like 1.6. It's like, I'm getting more than that anyway. The second reason I'm keeping it high is that I feel that when you're cutting, as I mentioned, I'm at like a 25% caloric deficit. I think it's important to up the protein a little when you're cutting. So that's why I'm at the like 0.8 through 1.0 grams per pound. So that's protein. What else do we need to talk about here? Oh, of course, the last thing is surgery is not surgery. There's all kinds of surgery. In fact, if you Google nutritional requirements after surgery, 90% of the hits are going to be from bariatric surgery, meaning like when people get their stomach stapled or rubber banded or all those other things. Of course, when they go messing with your stomach, that is going to drastically affect what you need to do to your nutrition. And of course, that has no bearing on the nutrition for me with my shoulder. So different kinds of surgery are going to have different nutritional needs. And if you have any doubts, who are you going to ask? No, not Ghostbusters. You're going to ask your surgeon. Yes. When you go there for your post-op appointment, have a list of questions and get them all answered. Nutrition is a good one to ask. Ask if they suggest any supplements. Ask. Another great person to ask is your physical therapist, because they work with people who have had surgery all day long, all year long, and they can see what works for people and what doesn't. So ask your physical therapist what you should be doing with your nutrition, what you should be doing with your supplements and vitamins and things like that. So please think. Thanks for watching Auf Wiedersehen.